I have been every voice.
You are the chosen one!
Anakin! Anakin!
This is where the fun begins.
Inside your head.
Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another video. I want to start off by saying happy May the 4th, it's officially Star Wars Day, let's all celebrate. And what better way to celebrate this glorious franchise than with the opening episode of The Bad Batch. Now just as I did with The Mandalorian Season 2, I'm going to be breaking down the full episode, so obviously a massive spoiler warning. I will begin by saying that if you haven't watched The Bad Batch or you're not planning to, you're simply making a huge mistake. Get yourself in front of the screen and watch it, see what you're missing out on, because this first episode at 75 minutes long was certainly a treat. Absolutely phenomenal, a big thumbs up from me. So my dear friends, without any more jibber jabber, let's just dive straight into it. Interestingly, we start on the world of Kala, where we're shown Depa Billaba, which is of course Kanan Jarrus' master, along with Commander Gree, who we first saw in Revenge of the Sith, and they're talking about reinforcements and she promises him that they're going to be there soon. Lo and behold, Caleb Doom, who obviously becomes Kanan Jarrus, arrives on the scene, and this was such a treat because we had rumours that he was indeed going to appear, and he states that there are only 5 reinforcements. They're all skeptical, but lo and behold, all 5 members of Clone Force 99 appear and absolutely kick droid ass. Once they finish, Caleb introduces the Bad Batch to his master, and he seems very close with them, especially Wrecker. Caleb is granted permission to go with the Bad Batch on their next mission, but as soon as he leaves, Depa Billaba senses that something is wrong. Commander Gree is given the Order 66 to destroy the Jedi. Instantly, Commander Gree fires at Depa Billaba, and Caleb runs back. Sadly though, his master is killed, and as the Bad Batch approach because they've heard all of this conundrum, Caleb assumes that they're also programmed to execute the Order. He doesn't trust them and he runs away. We then have a big moment because the Bad Batch seem very confused about what happened. We now learn that they don't have inhibitor chips, or so it seems. They all heard the Order on their comms, but don't have the programming to know what Order 66 was. However, Crosshair seems to be the only one who knows what the Order is. As they go looking for the young Jedi, Caleb is spotted in a tree, and while Hunter tries to tell him that he can trust them, Crosshair shoots at him because secretly he knows Order 66. Crosshair says, "Good soldiers follow orders." This becomes like his mantra throughout this episode. Tech tells Hunter that the orders are to kill the Jedi. They're all very confused, but once again Crosshair spots Caleb in a tree and shoots him down. As Caleb stands up and ignites his lightsaber, he runs away, deflecting all of Crosshair's shots. At the edge of a cliff, Hunter confronts Caleb and tells him that he's just as confused as he is. Caleb escapes by jumping across to the other side, and as Crosshair approaches, Hunter lies to Crosshair, telling him he indeed stunned the Jedi and killed him. Evidently, Crosshair does not believe this. Clone Force 99 then go to Kamino. Hunter is stunned to see shock troopers arrive, and they all sense that something is wrong. They're told that the war is over, and we do see a body of a Jedi being carried by 2 troopers as their lightsaber falls to the ground. In their barracks, Crosshair and Hunter have a fight, a strong argument based on what happened at Kala. Along with all the other clone troopers, the Bad Batch attend a mandatory assembly given by a hologram message of Palpatine. This was the message he gave in Revenge of the Sith, where he declared the creation of a new empire. Standing by the Kaminoans is Omega, a human girl. Hunter notices her, but just as he looks back, she's gone. Omega then catches the Bad Batch later on their way back to their barracks. She introduces herself as we saw in the trailers, and she knows who they are. One Kaminoan approaches and we find out who Omega is. She's actually a medical assistant to the Kaminoans instead of being a pet, which is what a lot of us assumed. Lo and behold, Grand Moff Tarkin, or at this point Admiral Tarkin, arrives on Kamino. He meets with the President Lama Su, and we have our first sign in this scene of the termination of the cloning facility, as the Empire was starting to prefer volunteering through conscription, which would eventually make up the army of stormtroopers in the original trilogy. Obsessed with cloning, the Kaminoans obviously don't agree with this, and they're not very happy. In the mess hall, or the food hall, rumours spread amongst the clones about an upcoming evaluation of skill. Omega joins them, and after a little scrap between Echo and some other troopers, he's taken to the medical facility on Kamino. The other members join him and discuss their fears over Tarkin evaluating them. They're told that they have to attend a mandatory training facility where they have to undergo battle simulations. As in the trailer, Tarkin watches them and the test begins, where the Bad Batch have to go through this simulation. The Bad Batch easily passes the test, but Tarkin then commands a live fire round, a very risky strategy that Lama Su admits could cause them a lot of damage. But Wrecker takes on the super droids head on, but is thrown back and shot in the shoulder. The The other Bad Batch members try to take them on, but fail as they take shelter. Luckily though, Hunter the leader has a plan. They distract the droids before taking them on. Tarkin, of course, is baffled by this strategy. We then cut to the vast cloning facility on Kamino, and we see a clone baby up front and center for the first time. Tarkin asks about Clone Force 99, and Lama Su says that they could be a part of the new Empire. However, Tarkin is skeptical. He asks if they executed Order 66, and he has his doubts. Lama Su says they must have done, but Tarkin finds out what happened on Kala, where Hunter let Caleb escape. Tarkin says he's going to test where their loyalties lie. So he then confronts the Bad Batch and tasks them to go to the Onderon system. On Onderon, they have to neutralize the Separatist threat. On the way to the ship though, Omega warns Hunter about Tarkin and his ulterior motives. She begs to go with them, but Hunter refuses, at least at first. Concerned, Omega watches them depart as they head for Onderon. When they land, they don't discover Separatists nor droids, but rather a small hideout of children and adults. They're then surrounded by human troops and taken to the small gathering of people. The small group end up being Onderon rebels, the pro-Republic fighters that would eventually be a huge factor in starting the rebellion. And then guys, we have a huge cameo because Saw Gerrera appears and boldly states we refuse to fight for the Empire. Saw Gerrera then gives them a choice to join the rebel cause or not. In the trees nearby, a probe droid is spying on them, but Hunter soon destroys it. Again, tensions rise between Hunter and Crosshair, and that's when Hunter realizes he has to go back to Kamino to save Omega. At this point, we get a big revelation. Text states that Omega is herself an enhanced clone. The fifth one, in fact, if Echo is going to be discounted as just a reg. Back on Kamino, Omega gets into trouble for rummaging through the Bad Batch's barracks. Our heroes, Clone Force 99, land back on Kamino. Tarkin and his troopers surround them, and Tarkin scolds them for their disobedience. They're then thrown into the brig where they discover Omega is there too, as Hunter offers her to go with them. Crosshair is of course skeptical and salty as always, getting very mad at Hunter for going soft. Again, he repeats the line, "Good soldiers follow orders." Crosshair is then taken for examination by the droids. Tarkin approaches and finds out that while his inhibitor chip is not fully functional, he still has the ability to know to enforce Order 66. Admiral Tarkin then commands that this obedience sensor, so to speak, is intensified, making Crosshair even more likely to betray the Bad Batch. Eventually, Clone Force 99 escape the cell, and they all agree that they need to find Crosshair in spite of their differences. Crosshair finds the Bad Batch as he approaches menacingly. It's a tragic moment as their former comrade is now out for them, completely brainwashed. An intense standoff ensues as Crosshair shoots first. While the clone troopers fighting Clone Force 99 try to seal the door that would enable them to escape to their ship, amazingly Nala Se takes the side of the Bad Batch and prevents it from happening. Omega saves the group, but as Crosshair chases them, they escape. Nala Se tells her Prime Minister that Clone Force 99 and Omega have gone, but the Prime Minister, disgruntled with Tarkin's views on cloning, doesn't want to tell him. The episode ends with Omega on board with the Bad Batch as she looks forward to freedom and a future away from Kamino. They all agree that they need to find allies, and while there are not many of them left, they state that they're going to head for the J-19 system, where they know a guy. They're of course referring to Seleucami, where they're more than likely going to meet Cut Lawquane. And that was the episode, guys. It was so intense, had a lot of emotion to it, the soundtrack was phenomenal, but I want to know what you guys think. Did you enjoy this first episode of The Bad Batch, and did you enjoy this kind of breakdown? I will be doing them with every episode, so let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have an amazing May the 4th, guys, and also remember that I'm having 20% off the entire merch store. When you use code SWM20 at checkout, you get 20% off your entire order. I will see you in the next one. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.